It's a crisp fall day here inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as we get an exciting 3 days competition in the AHSAA Super 7 started, and the championship starts this afternoon. We welcome you inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. Landrum Roberts along with my broadcast partner, Susan Carruthers. And Susan, two teams we're going to feature today in the 1A through 5A Flag Football Championship. It's going to feature two talented teams in Winona and Montgomery Catholic we're going to talk a lot about. But how about the sport of flag football? Not only catching fire across the country, but especially here in the high school ranks in the state of Alabama.
Absolutely, Landrum. I mean, like you said, catching fire. I mean, you can see the joy on these young ladies' faces, the excitement in the stadium. I mean, this is sweeping not only the state of Alabama, but the country, and it's an exciting day here today in Tuscaloosa.
We're going to introduce you to both teams. We'll get the coin toss and get things started. The Super 7 here from inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium gets started next. Stay with us.
That's right. If you missed the pregame show, I think they talked about that the Winona Dragons, several girls on their team, I think it's 7, are also basketball players, and they had a game here in Tuscaloosa last night. So hopefully they can keep that adrenaline pumping through their game today.
Good look there at Coach Lane as his Dragons undefeated on the season, 20-0 out of Class 5A, Region 5. And their offense puts up a lot of points, averaging 42 points per game this season. But it'll be the defense that gets started here first, and we'll introduce you to Montgomery Catholic and what they have going offensively. Yaley Dixon is quarterback, but they're going to start things out on the ground. And handoff going off the left side to Anna Russo, a name that we'll call a lot today, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side as well, Susan.
Yeah, and Yaley Dixon, I mean, not only does she have a strong passing game, I mean, she's a dual threat quarterback. She's one to watch out for.
The line to gain is the 40. We'll go through some of the rules and regulations of flag football as the pass is complete. And once again, Dixon going to one of her favorite targets, and Anna Russo, as we take a look at Montgomery Catholic. The Knights and their starting lineup: Hayden Fitz, Yaley Dixon, Anna Russo, Cameron Iverson, Carson Hawkins, Kate Robertson. And we'll get to more of those names in just a moment. But right now is Montgomery Catholic. And their opening drive is Dixon looking to throw, going up top, intercepted. Picked off by the Dragons. The ball blown dead after the interception. We'll talk about that Winona defense. We highlighted the offense, but the Dragons pretty spectacular on the defensive side of the ball as well. Samarian Franklin's going to lead the Dragons out. The quarterback, they're on offense. Miasia Clark, one of her favorite targets. And then we have the Clark sisters, the twins.
Twins, yes.
Numbers 8 and 9. Lots of cool storylines as we always get, not only here in high school football, flag football, but across championship competition throughout the AHSAA. So Winona waiting to get started. Cedric Lane signaling in the plays to his offense. And on first down, pass out in the flat and a nice pull by the defender. That was Kate Robertson coming over to make that pull. A short game for Winona.
And I like the way Winona's going ahead early and spreading out the field here on offense.
Quick look at Michaela Williams wearing 0, but that is Samarian Franklin. Samarian Franklin, team rushing and passing leader. No real surprise there.
Yeah, I know. Those are some quick quarters.
Look out for number 6, Jakaria Ringstaff, one of her favorite targets. Off the left side, another great pull by Montgomery Catholic with the defense early on, Susan.
Yeah, Landrum, this year we have 2 divisions in girls flag football. For the viewers that were watching last year, we just did this once. We get to do it twice this year. Like we said in the opener, this sport just continues to explode across the state of Alabama.
Haley Mason with that pull for the Knights. So Winona checking with the sideline, checking with Coach Lane on third down. Gonna throw now. Running with it.
Go! There she go!
And finding a seam. We'll see where they're going to mark Samarian Franklin down, but she took off. She was looking to throw and then decided she saw a crease and it was a good idea. They're going to move the chains.
Samarian, I think she thought she was getting away with that one, and I did too for a second.
So a first down After that run, you see the wheels from Sumerian Franklin.
If he can't, just let me know. You go, and I'll stay in the middle.
So on first down, Franklin, after feeling the pressure and another great pull, stepping up to make that play. Anna Russo, I told you we call her name a lot, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but you see it on the defensive side there.
That's right. She's even the team leader in interceptions. A lot going for her on that Catholic defense and offense.
Second down. Winona working from our left to our right. Just over 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. No score in this 1A through 5A flag football state championship game. Pass complete on this near side. I told you about her earlier. Jakiria Ringstaff, the leading receivers on this Dragons team. Is Susan, you look at the rules, a little bit different than traditional football as we know it, especially here in the South.
They are, and things that we need to get used to as well. I think we're all learning this together in the state of Alabama. The timing's a little bit different than you can see there on your screen. 48-minute games, 4 12-minute quarters. The scoring touchdowns are similar to men's football, but there's no kicking in flag football, so you can see there's some options for. We will come back to this in just a few more minutes. We'll explain it to you.
Razzle dazzle there, going around the left side. Michaela Williams. Good job of staying at home. The backside of that Knight defense gets you on the tackler who was able to come over and make that play, but finishing up some of the rules.
7 versus 7. This is obviously non-contact. Got to pull the flags. It's the same as a tackle in men's football. 80-yard field. You'll see that we have the field actually taped off to make it a little bit smaller for these games. And then play starts on the 14-yard line. So a lot of differences here. Obviously, these girls have been able to adapt to it really well and excel at this sport.
That previous tackle, Haley Mason, credited for Montgomery Catholic with the pull. Rolling out, firing, almost had a sack as pressure was being applied in the backfield by Jamie McGuire of the Knights.
Yeah. Winona had to deal with a high snap there, and obviously Catholic goes to take advantage of their strong defense.
Winona quickly getting the ball set. You see the marker there. There's a good look at Whitney Toole, head coach of Montgomery Catholic.
Coach Toole looking calm, cool, and collected, just like she said. This is a normal game for her team.
Easier said than done, I would think. For her players. You got to keep your cool as a leader of the team. High snap once again, and lucky to get away with it, finding an open receiver, a pull around the 18-yard line. But a nice job of adjusting, and high snaps, a little bit of a concern here early for the Dragons.
But they turn it around and turn it into some positive yardage.
That was Ringstaff on the reception from Sumerian Franklin. On fourth down. Got to convert here with a score. They're going to go to the end zone. Going up. Ringstaff, did she get it? She did. What a throw and catch when you had to have it. Sumerian Franklin finding Jakiria Ringstaff in our first score here with just under 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I like the way that this Winona offense, I mean, they're just grinding down here on this end of the field. I mean, just, play after play and finally get it in the end zone. Great job, girls.
So you have 3 different options here with your point after tries. As you take a look one more time, and that was just one-on-one, high pointing the football, and great placement there. This is the 3-point try. But the flag pull here in the backfield, and good pressure once again by Jamie McGuire. So we'll see the Knights on offense for the first time. Your early impressions of that first drive and what you saw from the Dragons.
Well, like I said, what I like to see is just the way they were grinding it out. I mean, just not giving up. When they had some trouble with high snaps and other issues, they powered through it and continued to get into the end zone. Really also like that awareness on the field, that receiver who came down right in the corner of the end zone.
Pass is complete. There to Anna Russo. We've already called her name a handful of times. And Christina Chambers, who was the third member of our 2 crew, working very, very hard, trying to battle the wind and the elements. A last cold day in December, but she's very active there in the sunshine. Christina.
Yeah, that's right. You were talking about Winona's Samarian Franklin. You know, Coach mentioned that they had a basketball team. You'll see on both sides of the ball, both teams, that it's a melting pot of athletes from all different sports, from track and field, basketball. Winona, like you said, mentioned earlier, they just played a basketball game. They have 5 starters on the basketball team that are on this girls flag football team that played a game last night. They ended up winning. So Coach was a little worried. Will they be a little winded today? Doesn't look like it on that drive right there for Winona scoring.
Very good stuff, Christina. We appreciate it. Incomplete pass on that first down. Ann Cobb was the intended receiver, and then another incompletion. Not sure if it would have gone for much there. It's good defense there by the Winona Dragons. And we talk about a couple of those Dragons, and you have the twins in Kiera and Sierra Clark wearing 8 and 9 respectively.
That's right, leaders on their team. Catholic here struggling early on offense. Like their coach said, they just need to settle down. They need to play a regular game. I'm sure she's going to talk to them about that over here on the sidelines.
Kiera, who wears number 8, a senior, leading the team in pulls, and her sister wearing number 9 leads the team in interceptions. You take a look at the bracket and how these two teams got here, Susan.
Absolutely. Yeah, you look at this. I mean, and we talked about how I believe since last year or 3 years ago when AHSAA first included girls flag football, the teams have doubled the number of schools participating. And so you see the road to the championship gets longer and harder every year.
Got to watch a game last year inside of Jordan-Hare Stadium that featured Auburn and Oxford.
Yeah. Absolutely outstanding athletes, and like Christina mentioned, so many of them multi-sport athletes. AHSAA talked about early on some concern that having girls flag football would take away from volleyball. It actually seems that both sports have continued to expand and explode with this addition of girls flag football.
Cedric Lane, 46-4 in 3 seasons as the head coach of the flag football team. Anyways, we mentioned winning boys basketball state titles in 2011, 2013. Is there anything that Cedric Lane can't coach?
That's a coach that knows how to win, that's for sure.
Meanwhile, for Montgomery Catholic, after the timeout, trying to regroup, trailing here 6-0. And the thing that you worry about, the explosiveness that we've seen from this Winona team on offense all season long, and stylistically what they do. And for Whitney Toole, you want to stay within striking distance at least for the first 24 minutes.
That's right. Don't want to let them get too far ahead too early.
When not much of a factor, and I say that from up here. Maybe Christina Chambers can give us a little bit better idea and more of an accurate depiction. But as you would expect, here in early December, it's chilly.
That's right.
But we have been blessed with not a cloud in the sky and a bright sunny day, at least on the playing surface, as we get started for 3 days of exciting action. We have the 6A, 7A flag championship coming up following this, and then tonight that big 7A clash between two Titans. Third down here is Montgomery Catholic working from our right to our left. It's Yaley Dixon trying to once again find Ann Cobb, and that time.
The lights, but these girls need to just focus on the fundamentals.
Everywhere you turn, you see big video boards, and the digital ribboning runs around the stadium. And the punt there, you have to declare for the punt. Montgomery Catholic did, and then taking the punt, the Winona Dragons just inside of the 40-yard line. We'll see the Dragons once again on offense. As you take a look at the schedule, we've got 2 unbeatens following this one. Central of Phoenix City and Vestavia Hills, the Rebels. And then tonight, Central of Phoenix City, the boys, taking on Thompson and trying to dethrone the 4-time defending state champions.
Yeah, we got some exciting games coming up over the next 3 days. All here in Bryant-Denny and Tuscaloosa.
Montgomery Catholic forcing a couple of third downs for Winona on that first offensive possession, but you see the athleticism and the speed of the Dragons. And even when snaps aren't going right, you have a playmaker, an athlete there in the backfield, is coming out of the backfield to make the catch. That's Michaela Williams after 4 or 5 yard completion there on first down.
Yeah, good offensive play there, and also good flag pulls from the girls from Catholic.
Substitution now for Winona. We will check that substitution momentarily. Cedric Lane signaling in. That's Michaela Williams has caught that pass. Marion Franklin. And scooting this way and jumping out of bounds is Franklin. Pretty good pursuit by the Montgomery Catholic defenders. And hustling over to make that play and force the step out was Kate Robertson.
And you'll notice these ball carriers, you know, as the defenders come near, they hold the ball out. They protect the football, but they are not allowed to flag guard. They cannot protect their flags.
Franklin intercepted. A pull there, but we're now dead even in the turnover battle as Montgomery Catholic gets it right back. Haley Ishman, I believe, was the knight who stepped in front of that one and came up with a pick. As you look at the students that have made their way here to Tuscaloosa. Well, one quarter in the books. Everything that we expected. We continue. Back to Bryant-Denny in a moment.
A game without a crowd.
Yeah, two fantastic athletes here, as you can see in these stats. Two well-matched teams, well-matched quarterbacks. It's going to be great to watch them duke it out on the field here today.
Marion Franklin, young lady there on the right, leading Winona back out on the field. A nice pull, but a completion is made. And once again, we've called her name already a lot. Haley Mason wearing number 12 in the white jersey for Montgomery Catholic. But that is one of the twins, Sierra Clark, wearing number 9, catching that football.
Had to thread the needle there a little bit, but got it done.
Second down for the Dragons. They'll need, 15 yards. Pass over the middle, almost intercepted. I believe that was Hayden Fitz that came across the middle.
Yeah, I like the pressure there brought by the Catholic defense.
Another dangerous pass from Samarian Franklin, and very fortunate that didn't get intercepted. I'll bring up third down. As Winona will need to reach on your screen the left-hand side of that scripted A inside of the Alabama logo. Dragons trying to run. Montgomery Catholic having none of it. Quickly over to make the pull before it ever got started. Jamie McGuire, a junior rusher, and she got back there just about as quick as the ball was snapped.
Yeah, Jamie there, just absolutely valuable defender on that last series. Her rushing the quarterback, I think, made all the difference there.
So both of these teams settling in after we've played 16 minutes here in this first half. Punt from Franklin, unable to handle it. Kate Robertson, and that is where the Knights will take over.
Landry, I love watching these young ladies punt. I mean, they're really good at it. I think they could compete on a lot of the boys' teams. Talked about their athleticism multiple times. You know, possible and probable that these girls are soccer players. I know there's gymnasts, girls that run track that also play flag football. That all plays in.
It certainly does. Across the middle, a big pickup for Montgomery Catholic, and coming across the middle to make that reception, Jamie McGuire. We're going to sit it down one more time to Christina Chambers, standing by on the sideline.
Quarterback Yaley Dixon, this is her first year playing quarterback. Last year she mostly played wide receiver. Coach Toole says that she's made tremendous progress from last year. She kind of lacked that confidence and was still learning, but this year she's become more of a leader. She has had a tremendous impact on what they do, and she's pretty quick. She also has a good arm, even though they may rely on more of the short pass. She can throw it deep if needed, and she can throw it about 45 yards.
I believe it. There, that completion to Kate Robertson, her teammate. And that was thrown on a laser. out past the hashes. I'm out on the field, but Montgomery Catholic trying to answer the bell, trailing 6-0. And if anything, if you're able to put points on the board for a multitude of reasons, they are keeping score, number one, and we will determine a winner. But if anything, just having that confidence and building that confidence heading towards halftime. And we appreciate our friends there at Alabama Natural Gas Association providing our timeouts there on the field. 55 degrees right now in Tuscaloosa. No wind to speak of at the moment, but a picturesque sky. No clouds to speak of, and I think we should enjoy pretty good weather for the next 3 days, and that is certainly good because we got a lot of great football games left to play.
I think you're right, and even in the 50s, if you've got this bright sunshine, it feels good in the sun. And you know, just looking out at these fans in the stadium, I mean, they are excited. They are cheering. They are dancing. We've got bands. We've got cheerleaders. This is a great atmosphere right now.
After the timeout, it's a fresh set of downs for the Knights of Montgomery Catholic. And 4 yards shy of the goal line. The pylons are set up there on the 10. And once again, she's been the go-to on this drive, Anna Russo.
She sure has. And like you said, you got to look for those pylons. We're so used to looking at those painted end zones, you know, in men's football. And this is a little bit different, but they are closer than it would look at first glance. And
something you're seeing from the Knights, just getting people into space and trying to spread out that Winona defense. And they've been able to on this possession. Haley Dixon dropping back. Dangerous pass. Could have been intercepted. Unfortunately for Dixon, it was not. She had an intended receiver, but right in front of her was a Dragon defender.
Yeah, you know, Haley Dixon and the whole Catholic team, so close here. We totally focused on getting it over that goal line, whatever it takes.
We'll call it 3rd down and goal from the 4. Good looking idea, but the pass sailing high and intended for Hayden Fitz, freshman wide receiver.
Yeah, I think Dixon wanted this one back just a little bit high.
Nice tight spiral. And good placement, just a little bit too far from the outstretched arms of Hayden Fitz. Montgomery Catholic will burn a timeout with 4 minutes, 16 seconds left. We do have a running clock. There will be stoppages in each of these halves, but you can't take the timeouts with you should the game go into overtime. And right now, I think probably a pretty good idea because you're not going to have too many better looking opportunities for Montgomery Catholic for head coach Whitney Toole.
That's right. This is go time for them right now down here on the goal line. You know, I like the communication I'm seeing among both of these teams on the field, and then even, you know, the way I've seen the plays being called in. Both of these teams seem very focused. They actually seem very calm. I think communication is key on both sides.
The two teams, Cedric Lane trying to come up. The defensive stop here on 4th down. That's how his team scored.
Hey, gear up. Go get him. Go get him.
And Montgomery Catholic trying to return the favor. As the Knights head back out after some last-second instructions from Whitney Toole, who you just saw, their head coach. Haley Dixon out of the gun. She finds her favorite target. Guess who? Anna Russo. And it's a touchdown for the Knights.
What a play. What a catch there by Anna Russo.
We saw that play at least 3-4 times on that drive, and it was a shallow cross from Anna Russo, and the Dragons still have not found a solution in trying to stop her. And it's one of the reasons that Montgomery Catholic was not only able to navigate through the regular season, but through the playoffs. This is a 1-point conversion as they go from the 3. Pass is caught but shy of the goal line. And coming over to make the catch was Ann Cobb, but stepping out of bounds. So we're knotted at 6 with 3 minutes, 20 seconds
and Landrum,
left in this first half.
We have a game on our hands here.
Certainly do. A lot of the Montgomery Catholic fans that have made their way as you take a look. Yaley Dixon, quarterback for the Knights. And that's what's so fascinating. This is such a young sport. And a lot of these girls learning, they play other sports, but learning it, and then to do it, to learn a sport and then compete at the highest level in this setting, it makes it so cool. And that's what's so awesome about showcasing all these great athletes.
That's right. You can see it on their faces.
Winona trying to get some more points. First down before the intermission. As you look at the last drive by Montgomery Catholic, and the way it started is the way it ended. And Anna Russo playing a big part, number 5 coming across your screen there. And the touchdown on 4th down. Pulled there the goal line by Clark, but not before Russo had the ball across.
Gotta love the celebrations and those hugs.
The goal line, and a timeout there on the field. They will put the ball spot down. It'll be 2nd down. 2 minutes left, so they stop the clock. Winona going 4 wide. Now they'll shuffle a player out. Samarian Franklin. Snap there. Going to Michaela Williams, but nobody fooled, especially number 13, and we've called her name several times. Wearing the white jersey, Jamie McGuire.
Yeah, Catholic knew exactly what to do with that one. May have surprised us up here, but no surprise to Catholic on the field.
McGuire, a junior, already with a handful of pulls here in this first half. Clock on the move. 1.5 minutes left. Now Cedric Lane gets his play in. 3rd down and a long way to go for the Dragons. Now Franklin thought about it, goes the other way, had a receiver open. And I believe that was Ringstaff who caught the touchdown earlier, but that ball sailing just a bit high. And in the coverage, Haley Ishman, you see there in the center of your screen.
But, Samarian Franklin, fascinating and fun to watch. I mean, she can do it all, it seems. And at every snap, not quite sure what she's going to do.
Winona punting. It's Franklin already with a good punt from earlier. Ball fielded and returned. And some contact and splitting 2 defenders. One of the Montgomery Catholic Knights is down and slow to get up.
And we talk about this as a non-contact sport, but of course, inevitably on the football field, some contact happens.
2 teams fighting for a state championship, and you're right.
A lot of passion, a lot of emotion involved. And these girls, they're putting it all out here on the field.
A lot of passion with the students as well. 3 seconds left. Montgomery Catholic, after answering and tying this game at 6, looking for more. Flag coming down in the backfield, thrown about 3 yards behind Haley Dixon, the Knights quarterback, as the ball fell harmlessly incomplete. We await the call. So there you get the call, Susan. Flag guarding.
Can't do it. And you have to think that would be so hard.
It would be
naturally, would want to protect those flags, but can't do it.
Even if it's the most subtle of just an elbow, can't do it.
That's right.
And with good reason. Seems like it'd be hard enough to pull a flag when somebody is
You're exactly
running
right.
at full speed across the middle. Pass is complete. It's Russo once again, but her flag is pulled.
And speaking of pulling flags, when we talk about these multi-sport athletes, once again, from some things that I read, it seems that gymnasts are especially good at flag pulling because of the way that they have to learn to grip uneven bars and other things like that. So a lot of crossover here in these athletes.
Very interesting. Pass incomplete, broken up, and a good defensive play. Now another flag is pulled. It's coming over to try to make the catch. Ann Cobb, she was in traffic, and you see Jacaria Ringstaff serves as not only a wide receiver on the offensive side, but as a safety right there, and a little bit of contact and all in one. Both players hitting the ground, but she wanted to make sure that she pulled that flag.
Good defense there by Winona. I like to see it.
Not only pulling the flag, pulling the entire belt. Third down. Haley Dixon unable to come up with it. Coming back for the football was Kate Robertson. The ball hitting the turf here inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. A fourth down coming up. 23 seconds remaining here in this first half.
So close there, but had to come back to the ball. That ball might have been tipped the line. Let's look and see. Defender may have gotten a hand on it.
A good eye. End over end, punt fielded inside the 25. Look at this.
Nice.
It's a touchdown on special teams for the Winona Dragons.
That's going to make the highlight reel.
Kiera Clark, one of the twins.
Winona fans coming down out of the stands for that one. Let's see it again. I like the handoff.
Montgomery Catholic all selling out one way, and then you saw number 8 going the opposite way. And there was not a Knight within 15 yards as she got into a sprint there down the sideline. What a huge play on special teams for Cedric Lane and his Dragons.
I'm sure Coach Lane is proud of that one. That was beautifully designed, beautifully executed.
Timeout. Winona as they'll draw it up. A 1 point after touchdown as they spot the ball. They're at the 3-yard line. Cedric Lane going to talk things over with his team leading 12-6. Talk about a momentum swing. Like Montgomery Catholic had seized the momentum even after punting the ball. But the razzle-dazzle, the misdirection.
Beautiful play. Exactly what the Dragons needed at that moment.
Future Ones is an Alabama-based company dedicated to serving and investing in our local schools and athletes. Support Alabama high school athletics.
Sumerian Franklin, quarterback, in the center of your screen, wearing number 1. Talking to her teammates and setting up this 1 point conversion. Try to go up by a full touchdown. Whitney Toole looks on. We await the 1 point play. Delay a game call against Winona. So too much checking with the sideline. Everybody trying to get set. And this will make things a little more challenging. So after the timeout, Cedric Lane not happy. After talking things over, and they're going to back it up. So instead of working there from inside and close, they'll back things up 8 yards from that goal line. Make things a little more tough. Or challenging, I should say, for Winona.
And with the way this has gone, I know Catholic would love to stop this right as they go into halftime.
3 Knights across the goal lines. Marion Franklin Trying to split the defenders, but right there with a textbook pull, Anna Russo.
Extra point is
5 seconds left.
with 5 seconds remaining.
But Winona, it's the way to answer, and answering on special teams, leading 12-6 after starting out with a touchdown drive of their own. It was Montgomery Catholic was able to answer with a long sustained drive, and just when you thought it was safe and we'd be tied, heading into the locker rooms, Dragons answering. So 5 seconds left here. Just going to hand the ball off. A flag pull as Ann Cobb got about 7 on that play, and that will be the final play of this first half. Winona coming up with a huge play on special teams, and leading 12-6 here in the Knights head coach.
That's right. Calm, cool, and collected every time we get her on camera.
So we get started with this second half. Winona with the football, working from our right to our left, wearing the gold and leading 12-6. Samarian Franklin, that ball tipped, almost grabbed though out of the air. Is going up to make that tip was Anna Russo, a name that we called throughout the first 2 quarters of play. Is Susan, you take a look at some of those first half stats, anything that really jumps out to you after going in depth and looking at those 2 teams coming in?
You know, time of possession, it really isn't something that we've touched on yet, but you see there, I've been pretty close in time of possession, which I think is a testament to how close the score is.
Total yards, say a defensive battle, but the yards per play is very, very interesting. And I know that Kevin Skarbinski mentioning this Montgomery Catholic team. There's a fumble, the ball ruled dead right there, but a team that was 17-3, but of 17 of those wins, 15 shutouts.
Wow.
That's hard to do.
It is very hard to do, as we've seen here today.
After the dropped ball in the backfield, bring up 3rd down for Winona.
You know, Landrum, I like just how both of these teams are fighting, just fighting with all their hearts. You can tell they both really want it.
Franklin surveys the field. 3 on the play clock. That ball almost intercepted. Anna Russo, who might have started running towards the end zone before she fully had possession. As you take a look at the tip prior to that play, but here on the following play after the fumble, just unable to grab it. She's upset with herself. Her eyes probably got as big as saucers, looking for a pick 6.
Yeah, rough offensive series there for Winona. Not the way they wanted to come out of the half.
The good news is the Knights playing outstanding defense on Winona's opening drive, and they'll take over on Winona's side of the field. Pass into traffic, incomplete. That was Kate Robertson trying to come up with it. Receiver also serves as a defensive back, just a sophomore, but good defense by the Dragons that time.
Winona with the answer so far. We'll see if they can continue that momentum.
Yaylee Dixon, there you see her in the center of your screen, wearing number 3. Settled in nicely after throwing an interception in that first half. She's got a open wide receiver and going back to number 10, Kate Robertson, and we are tied with 9 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter.
Beautiful play there. I love the way the offensive line protected Dixon. Allowed for a beautiful throw downfield.
Put some air under it that time. As you take a look at our replay, nice positioning of the feet. Coming over to try to make the deflection. Misjudging it. And a great throw and catch for the Knights. So they showed the big play capability.
Beautiful execution there.
Trying the 1-point conversion to try to take this lead. Nearing the 8-minute mark. Haley Dixon, ball intercepted. Guess who? Jacaria Ringstaff. Cannot advance interception or fumble. But Ringstaff, once again, have we seen anything that number 6 can't do?
Seems like she can do it all, and she continues to today.
After the failed conversion, tied at 12 as we take one more look at an outstanding throw and catch by Montgomery Catholic. Getting right back in this ball game.
Love to see that celebration. You know, these two very well-matched teams we've got here on the field today.
Pass caught, but a quick pull of the flag. It might have been Robertson on the defensive side after scoring the touchdown, right back out there to play defensive back, and it was.
Yeah, I say these teams have a lot in common. One big difference is just the methodical and almost the slow play call that goes on, you know, very thoughtful on the Winona side, and then Catholic with those quick snaps. Two different styles of offense there.
Just glimpse of the Dragons head coach Cedric Lane. His team backed up behind the sticks and on second down. The pass is complete. Coming across to make the grab. That's Kamaya Williams. First time we've called her name. Wide receiver. Wearing number 10. She puts the flag belt back on.
Haley Mason there with the pull. Way to be there, right where she needed to be.
It's good enough for a fresh set of downs and across the middle. Catch made. Quick pull of the flag, but not before 10, maybe 12 yards on that reception. So we'll take a look at it one more time. And that was Miasia Clark coming across the middle.
If she had made it through that one, she would have been long gone. But again, those Catholic defenders right where they need to be.
Had Ann Cobb, if the pull hadn't been made for the Knights, was in position to save a touchdown. Second down, Samarian Franklin looking long. Over shooting an open, wide open, Miasia Clark. That'll bring up third down.
Let's watch her avoid the sack here. Pretty aggressive rush there. She gets out of it. Just an overthrow there by the quarterback.
So maybe an opportunity squandered. But never count out this one team. Completion made there on the right side, coming over. Sierra Clark.
You know, short play there, but positive yardage. Sometimes when those long throws don't work, go back to that short ground game.
Sierra Clark, cornerback, leads the team in interception on the defensive side, but she can catch the ball on defense. She shows she can catch it on offense. That ball overshot as Samarian Franklin
And
getting a little
intercepted.
more air under the ball as opposed to what we saw in the first half. And once again, she had a wide open Dragon receiver, but
Samarian, I think, struggling on that drive with the rush that Catholic and their defense brought.
So the Knights right back at it. Trying to break this 12-all tie. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Run by Yaley Dixon showing the wheels. She's shown the arm, but there, why not? Dragons dropped everybody back, and Yaley Dixon took advantage.
We've said it before, but Yaley's a dual threat quarterback, and she shows it there.
Whitney Toole looking on. That's Russo with the catch, and then the flag eventually pulled by Samarian Franklin, but before Russo got to the 35. We'll call it the 25 because of the adjusted lines and an 80-yard field. But that sets up Montgomery Catholic and the Knights with a third down, 5 yards to go as the clock approaches 3 minutes.
Big play here for the Knights. They really want this. They want to convert this.
Wouldn't be surprised if Russo gets the call. They're going to go back to her, but Winona was ready for it. They got to know where number 5 is at all times. Coming over, that was Kiera Clark. Nice denial defense and just swatted that ball down with her left hand.
Yeah, good defense there. Very convincing. You know, I talked about Catholic doing it, but Winona there, you know, the quarterback rush is key in this game.
4th down. Catholic needs 5. They go down the seam, intercepted. That's Ringstaff. Can she do it again? A touchdown saving pull potentially. And coming over to make that pull, Haley Ishman, but Jacaria Ringstaff, touchdown catch. A punt return touchdown. And the interception here, and anytime she has the ball in her hands, she's already proven she is a threat to take it the distance.
Love the way she reads those quarterback's eyes. She knew exactly where that ball was going, and she put herself in position to make that interception, that big play.
So with under 2 minutes, Ringstaff gets ready to go on the offensive side. It's Marion Franklin trying to regain some of that accuracy we saw in the first half. Go end around and a great pull. Coming up to make that pull, Jamie McGuire, the junior rusher.
You know, Landrum, so many of these girls out here on the field playing both sides of the ball. And, you know, from what I can tell, they don't even look tired. I mean, amazing athletes out here on the field today.
It's Ringstaff, who's similar to the punt return. They're trying to get Catholic defense going one way. But a nice play by McGuire. Now Franklin has her flag pulled, and that's Anna Russo coming up to make the stop. Bring up 3rd down for the Dragons as we're under 1 minute remaining here in this 3rd quarter. A deadlocked tie at 12 apiece.
Landrum, have you ever played any flag football?
Played a little bit.
Not as easy as it looks, huh?
It's not. Susan, I was a lot faster going east to west than I was north and south.
Okay.
So
If you say so.
I was a rusher. Incomplete. Dump it off short. Franklin, that pass was broken up, and guess who? It was Kate Robertson again.
And we just saw Whitney Toole again, just, you know, no expression on her face. She's leading these girls by example, trying to keep them cool, calm, and collected, and she's doing just that.
Closing seconds. We'll have a punt. Cedric Lane and Winona. But not before time expires here in this 3rd quarter. Well, Winona had a nice lead at halftime, but it was Montgomery Catholic with the answer on this heave from Yaley Dixon to her teammate Kate Robertson. Final 12 minutes comes up next. Welcome back inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium, the start of the 4th quarter, the 1A through 5A Flag Football State Championship. You see it on your screen. We got a tie game, Montgomery Catholic and Winona.
What a game
at
we've
12.
got.
Absolutely.
Don't we love to see a close championship game?
Punt from Winona, fielded. And on the return, getting it to the far side of the field, Hayden Fitz, but a nice pull and another athletic play by Winona on special teams, and that's where we'll see the Knights take over and try to break up this tie.
You know, it all comes down to this for these girls. I mean, the season that they've played, you know, 12 minutes here left to go in this last quarter, and can't wait to see what they plan to do.
Yaley Dixon. And a pass caught, and a name that we've called a lot today, Anna Russo. And for more, Christina Chambers, she has more to offer on number 5 wearing the white jersey. Check in with Christina in just a little bit. Pass complete. Caught on the far side. There to make the catch, and Cobb. Let's take a look. Kiara Clark, senior defensive back. She and her sister Sierra anchoring things there and locking it down in the Dragons secondary. Third down. And just a keeper. This goes directly to Russo. And Russo powers ahead. Plenty for the first down, and they'll move the chains. And this drive going exactly, I would suspect, Susan, as head coach Whitney Toole wanted it to go. Eat up some clock. You don't want to give too much time to that explosive Winona offense.
So far, so good. Exactly how she would dial it up.
Dixon across the middle. Goes back to Kate Robertson, who was a recipient of that last touchdown that got us to this point.
Once again, good work there by the Catholic offensive line, protecting their quarterback, giving her time to make a play.
9-yard gain on that reception. Second down. The line to gain is the 30, as you see there on your screen. Once again, an 80-yard long field, 40 yards across, so the goal line is at the 10, so you can follow easily at home. Russo once again across the middle.
Dixon to Russo, that's been the story today. They continue to make positive yardage happen, big plays happen.
Great news for Montgomery Catholic fans. Anna Russo, just a sophomore.
That is great news.
Dump off out of the backfield. That's Carson Hawkins, the senior blocker. First time we've called Carson's name today, but they're all big at this point. 12-12 tie with just over 8.5 minutes left.
Carson got tripped up there, but, you know, still positive yardage. Every little bit counts as Coach Whitney Toole looks on.
But then when I hold to the side, it's like puffy. Yeah, but it don't like it's like on the pictures it looks like really puffy.
Huge fourth down for Catholic. Lee Dixon fires up, almost a sensational grab after the ball tipped up into the air. Double coverage. Kate Robertson almost came down with it on the second attempt.
Yeah, dangerous play here. You know, you got to love them, like we say, leaving it all on the field. Go for the big play. Not able to execute that one.
So after a nice drive, Mona's defense tightens the screws. And the Dragons getting it back on offense. Marion Franklin looking to her head coach. Let's take a look there. Kate Robertson trying to keep everything in front of this night defense. Final 7.5 minutes. So we'll crown a state champion here in the first of 9 games in 3 days here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Franklin to the backside, cutting it through the middle. No flag pulled, and finally pulled as everybody kind of standing around looking at one another, and then in disbelief realized that you had a ball carrier without the flag.
Sometimes those flags are hard to pull.
That was Haley Mason coming over to make the pull.
I like Franklin there, keeping her composure, keeping her calm, waiting on the perfect moment to execute that play, make it happen.
Plenty of time to throw as she found her teammate, Michaela Williams. Dragons working on second down. Don't have far to go. Pass is complete. And coming across the middle, having her flag pulled, Kiara Clark. Once again, Haley Mason. There in the middle. Look at Russo. Now Clark. She reattaches the flag belt. 6:18 left, as you see there on your screen. Franklin getting everyone set. The play clock is down to 5. Dragons still having trouble getting set. Better snap the football. Cedric Lane was asking for a timeout. Was he awarded a timeout? I believe he was. The play clock was down to 1, and the Dragons were in danger of being hit with a 5-yard delay of game penalty.
Timeout.
Our Alabama Natural
Winona.
Gas Association.
Their first charge timeout in the second half.
And Winona earning their first the second half. As we take a look at how these two teams got here and navigated their way through a very tough bracket. Just take a look at what Winona was able to do, and Westminster Christian, that was one of their most formidable tests. This Winona Dragon team pretty much had their way through their schedule, and their record would indicate it. And then Montgomery Catholic having to get by Satsuma.
That's right. We got 2 brackets this year. We've got another game actually right after this for the larger schools. And it's worth noting, too, that, we've talked about this is the 3rd year for flag football for AHSAA. Next year, it will become an official championship sport. The trophies awarded today at these trophy presentations, a little bit different design than the traditional blue maps, but going into next year, it will be an official championship sport with an official blue map to be awarded.
Yeah, and immediately following this one, you don't want to miss it. You see there Central of Phoenix City and outscoring their opponents 67-12 out the playoffs. And Vestavia, they've been exceptional as well. That is 2 fun offenses to watch. But right here, we've still got 5.5+ minutes left, and Jacaria Ringstaff, who has been the Dragon that has made Winona go, not only defensively, special teams, and offensively as well, and she has accounted for both of the Winona touchdowns.
Yeah, really impressed by Ringstaff's effort, second effort. Even, when she's not sure if that flag's been pulled, she keeps going, even if it has. It's really paid off for her team today.
Second down, Franklin. In a deep drop. 8 yards deep. Trying to buy herself some time. She was able to do so and had an open receiver coming to this near sideline in Kamaya Williams, but Williams couldn't hang on.
And good pressure brought there by the Catholic defense, forcing Winona to make quick decisions and not always good ones.
So 3rd down coming up for Winona. Samarian Franklin. See if she tries to go back to Jacaria Ringstaff. Avoiding the pressure, putting it up. She's got an open receiver, and it's a catch and a pull right there at the 20. But she went right back to Kamaya Williams after the incompletion on the pass on this near side. Kamaya Williams found herself wide open down the seam.
And that is exactly what Winona needed at this time. Great clock management there by Coach Cedric Lane.
Middle of the field was the only place the Knights didn't have defended. Paid off. So on 1st down, pitch back to Michaela Williams. Flag is pulled. They're in the backfield. Jamie McGuire, that young lady, has had an outstanding effort on the defensive side for Coach Whitney Toole.
Let's take a look at the defense here. Way to lay it all out there, put it on the line, get that flag pulled.
2nd down. The Dragons need 13 yards to reach the goal line. Franklin dumps it short. It's Michaela Williams. And Williams sprinting towards the outside, trying to catch the edge, but another nice job by Ann Cobb, number 23, to make that pull. And now you have an injured Knight on the field. Hopefully just a cramp being tended to by 2 of her teammates. Now Whitney Toole in the train. Anna Russo, who's done it on both sides of the ball here today.
Yeah, that's right. They're massaging her right calf on her leg. She is currently out of the game, and she is one player that Coach Toole says is super smart. Her brother plays at Auburn University. and is the punter. Coach says that she's been a tremendous addition to the team. She didn't play flag football last year. She played volleyball. So to have her out on this field has been a key part to their success this year.
Well, a key part to the defense for Montgomery Catholic was intercepting the pass of Sumerian Franklin. Jamie McGuire. But right now, the play of the day on the defensive side of the ball for Coach Whitney Toole as you take a look here, Susan.
I mean, right when the Dragons think they've got it right where they want it, the Knights strike.
It was Haley Ishman actually came over, the freshman.
A game of momentum shifts for sure.
Playing center field, got between two would-be Winona receivers. Secured the football, and now with plenty of time left,
warning.
2 minutes. Montgomery Catholic, chance to put together a drive and to walk out of Bryant-Denny Stadium with a state championship. Dangerous pass behind the intended receiver. I believe that was Kate Robertson over the middle. And Yaley Dixon couldn't connect. No harm done.
Montgomery Catholic here has, balls in their court. They've got the ball under 2 minutes to play. And like Coach Whitney Toole's told them this whole time, they need to settle down. They need to focus. They need to execute.
Dixon almost intercepted. Nice defensive play. Coming over to make it was Sierra Clark. Came in today leading that Winona team in interceptions with 18. She almost had another one there.
Seen some emotion here, of course, as this game comes down to the wire, tied up.
Timeout. Montgomery Catholic, their second charge timeout of the half.
Montgomery Catholic, Whitney Toole, she will call a timeout and talk things over with 1:50 left and facing a third down. The line to gain would be the 30. So 9 yards needed for the Knights to move the chains. Try to march down the field and claim this 1A through 5A flag football state championship. A reminder, we do have the 6A, 7A state championship battle of two unbeaten, Central Phoenix City and Vestavia Hills getting together. We'll have plenty on that one, but the nightcap tonight, Central Phoenix City taking on Thompson in the 7A. And we've got wall-to-wall action for the next 2 days. And you both, Susan, will be a part of such an outstanding event, whatever the sport, but Super 7, of course, near and dear, especially with how much, not only college football, but high school football and flag football is appreciated now in the state.
That's right. Just what it means to these communities and to the state as a whole. And, how if you're not near Tuscaloosa, can't join us for one of these games, how they're now being broadcast on APT so the whole state can enjoy. I mean, it's really just an incredible atmosphere, an incredible event.
Appreciate our friends at APT. Now the Knights over the middle and getting a hand on it, but unable to hold on. Kate Robertson. It's going to be fourth down. I would think Whitney Toole going to elect to punt here, and that's what it looks like. Is good to see Anna Russo after the injury back out on the field, as you see there, and getting ready to punt this ball away. Got to be careful here. As the Dragons, with several very capable players, running it back. Russo with a high wobbly kick, fielded, bobbled by Sumerian Franklin. She's upset with herself. She felt like she had some room to run, and I can't disagree with her. But in flag football, the ball is dropped. That is where they mark the play dead. So 1:35 left for Winona. I know we expected a great game, but did we expect 12-12 with 1:35 left?
I don't think I did. And both teams just, a lot of missed opportunity, a lot of big plays, but also a lot of missed opportunities, ones they want to get back. That's what we're seeing here, a couple of drives that didn't end the way that these teams would have liked for them to. But still time on the clock.
Here we go.
And Winona with the ball.
It's Marion Franklin. Williams comes in motion. Franklin's going to dump it short. She found a receiver streaking across the 44-yard line. That was Sierra Clark.
You know, what we've seen from these teams is that they are both capable of big plays, and, you know, a big play doesn't always take very long as the clock continues to wind down.
Winona with 2 timeouts left. As that pass sailing out of bounds. Good coverage as Ann Cobb came over. And that was Ringstaff. That was the intended receiver, and Ringstaff favoring maybe the left hamstring just a bit. Samarian Franklin looking over at her head coach, Cedric Lane. There's Jamie McGuire. Those very busy defenders and trying to keep everything in front of them with this explosive Winona offense. Franklin avoids the pressure. Out to the outside as Franklin shows off the wheels. A nice pull. Coming over to make that pull was Haley Mason.
I like Franklin choosing to run there. The Catholic defenders, like you said, they've got to tighten down, contain this Winona offense. Under a minute to play.
Fresh set of downs, though. As I mentioned, a couple of timeouts at Coach Cedric Lane's disposal. He doesn't choose to use one here, as the clock is still moving. Franklin a good 7 yards deep, and the shotgun almost intercepted. That ball could have easily been picked off. Frances Rogers, the freshman linebacker, had it in her hands and then dropped it.
Great work there by a freshman, reading the quarterback's eyes, the freshman defender, being able to go over there and break up that play, get really close to an interception.
Clock does stop after the incompletion. Second down for the Dragons. They'll need the 30 to move the chains. So time is of concern, and Michaela Williams, and right after she caught it, she had her flag pulled. There were a couple Montgomery Catholic Knights there converging on the tackle. I think we just called Frances Rogers.
Yeah,
timeout.
Some of our smaller
Winona.
schools,
Their second charge timeout of the half.
A little bit smaller, but these crowds are loud. They're into it. They're dancing. The bands are playing. These fans are supporting their schools.
Cedric Lane calling timeout. So Winona with 1 left. Montgomery Catholic will have 1 left. And today is just the kickoff of an exciting 3 days. The first of 3 games here today. Of course, we mentioned we have the 6A and 7A flag championship following this one. Central of Phoenix City and Vestavia Hills. Those 2 unbeatens. And then tonight, Central of Phoenix City will take on Thompson and try to unseat the reigning state champions. That is going to be everything that everyone anticipates it will be. Then tomorrow, the 3A championship, Mobile Christian and Madison Academy, and then you'll have Coosa Christian, Leroy, and tomorrow night, Gulf Shores and Ramsey. That'll be a treat. And of course, more action coming up on Friday with 3 games as we conclude. It'll be a fantastic week here in Tuscaloosa. 15 seconds left. The heave knocked away. Beautifully done. Ann Cobb coming up, not even trying to intercept that ball, just knocking it down to the turf. It'll bring up 4th down and 10 seconds left. Without the miraculous, it would seem, we're headed to overtime.
Love these players not taking their foot off the gas, just being where they need to be, watching that quarterback's eyes, breaking up these plays.
It's Marion Franklin. And behind her is Michaela Williams. She comes over this way. Ringstaff, that was too tall for Jacaria. A flag is down on the far side of the field. We'll see what the call is.
Encroachment. Offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Remains 4th down. Clock operator, please
have
reset
the
the
1
game
yard
clock for
zone,
10
and
seconds.
apparently one of the Winona players
Thank you.
was there in that zone. So encroachment is the call, the 5-yard step off, and that will make the unenviable more unenviable.
Their third and final
The
charge.
final
Steve's on out
timeout
of
was
the
burned
half.
by Cedric Lane and the Dragons. 10 seconds left and trying to devise something, and now with no timeouts to burn, got to be creative here. I don't know if you have a 43-yard play that's drawn up that you've worked on, but I've come to expect the unexpected.
I think we should expect the unexpected, that's for sure. But then again, you know, I mean, with all the football we've got coming up over the next 3 days, we might get some extra football here, so no one will complain about that.
So Cedric Lane talking things over with the Dragons as they get set for this 4th down on the other side of the field. If you're Montgomery Catholic, Whitney Toole, and the Knights, probably just want to keep everything in front of you. If you go prevent defense, if that's applicable here. But certainly trying to prevent against any of those talented wide receivers for Winona to get past you. Bring 4 up close. 3 drop back deep. Here we go. Quick pass. That's Ringstaff. Nobody pulled her flag. Jacaria Ringstaff, the flag pulled at the 1-yard line with 2 seconds remaining. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable. Jacaria Ringstaff, I mean, the playmaker of the game, does it again.
Ann Cobb reached for the flag. Jacaria Ringstaff with a turn, the athletic play, and it seems almost every big play that we've seen from Winona, number 6 has been a part of it. No exception there. 1 second left here in regulation. Winona works from the 1.
Eat at Jack's. Should we leave for half?
Are we gonna get home like at a reasonable time?
Like 6:30?
6:30?
You think?
Oh, I don't know.
How long do these last?
I think
Like 3 to...
That is the end of the 4th quarter.
It'll be like an hour. And then like...
We had a tackle on the final play. They went direct snap and went with the run with Michaela Williams trying to sort it out. I'm afraid she might have bumped her head against one of the Montgomery Catholic Knight defenders. As you take a look at Jacaria Ringstaff, and that's what set up that 1st and goal at the 1. She thought she was going to score.
And she almost did.
But a touchdown saving tackle and then the try from the 1 as you take a look. And unfortunately for Michaela Williams, she's still being tended to and looked like she might have hit her head. We certainly hope that she...
The overtime rules, there will be a quick coin toss, and then each team will have 4 chances from the 10-yard line to score. And the first team to do so, whether if it's a touchdown or a field goal, obviously whoever scores a touchdown would win the game. But both teams will get an opportunity from the 10-yard line, 4 tries, just like traditional football rules, and they will have the coin toss here in just a few seconds.
Thank you so much, Christina. Well, how did we get to this point? We played 48 minutes of football, action-packed. We saw a little bit of everything from both of these teams, but it was Jacaria Ringstaff who just came up with that big reception. She got things started.
She sure did. I mean, absolutely unbelievable, explosive plays from Jacaria Ringstaff. That's been the story of this game for
All right, for
Winona.
overtime, we'll play first
Return
and 10.
on the misdirection.
Each team will have an
Ringstaff
opportunity, a series.
taking it the distance there. That made it 12-6. But in the second half, you saw the long pass and catch. Yaley Dixon, the quarterback of the Knights, finding Kate Robertson. And then the play that just set up that 1st and goal from the 1, Jacaria Ringstaff, and a touchdown-saving pull from Haley Ishman, I believe. That got us to overtime. And Christina rolling through the overtime, Susan, as you'll get both teams will have possession of the ball.
First down and 10.
4 opportunities from 10 yards out. Anything can happen, but if you don't like flag football or you're not entertained, I have nothing for you.
Right. I think you should be right now. This is exciting. I mean, basically, we're back to 0-0.
Montgomery Catholic, Whitney Toole. Some last second instructions as Yaley Dixon, her quarterback. They're standing just beyond Coach Toole. And then to the left, they're on the left side of the screen, Anna Russo, number 5. She's done a little bit of everything.
You know, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that huddle. You know, Coach Whitney Toole telling her girls before this game, play like this is a normal game. But here they are in Bryant-Denny Stadium with the jumbotrons, the screens, the ribbons, you know, all, bands, cheerleaders. This is an exciting environment to play in. They get to use the locker room, the team, you know, the stadium locker rooms at halftime.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And so, you know, hard to settle down, settle those nerves, but that's what they've got to do right here.
Montgomery Catholic here in overtime as we begin. 4 attempts. They spot the ball on the 20, but the goal line is at the 10 if you're just joining us and learning flag football. Pass complete. No surprise, they go right to Anna Russo. She has been a problem at times for that Winona defense, and there she found some daylight, found the void.
And, you know, that's what you do in a situation like this. Do what's been working the whole game. By now, you've got a great look at the defenders. You know what works, you know what doesn't. This is time you have to execute. Do what works.
Yaley Dixon looks at the plays. They're on the play card around her wrist. Now Dixon got to throw. Too tall. Almost intercepted. She was going once again for Anna Russo, but you had 2 Winona defenders over there to help out. Ringstaff was one of them. I think Clark might have been the other.
Dangerous play there.
2 more opportunities to get it into the end zone for that young lady, Yaley Dixon. Dixon going deep, intended for Riley Wilcoxon, but incomplete. Now 4th down.
Catholic didn't do themselves any favors on that overthrown ball.
See what Whitney Toole draws up here. Fourth down and goal. Montgomery Catholic has to score. Put it up in the end zone. Tipped around out of the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Great coverage in defense. You had 4 gold jerseys back there. Couldn't tell who got the initial hand on it, but knocked out of bounds. That's all Cedric Lane is concerned with.
That's right. That became a jump ball back there.
Now his Dragons on offense will have 4 downs to try to get it into the end zone and 10 yards to go. Samarian Franklin, his quarterback, wearing number 1. Comes back out onto the field. It's Kamaya Williams, wide receiver, lines up to the top of the screen, to the bottom, Jacaria Ringstaff. Don't need to tell you any more about Ringstaff. Franklin had her flag pulled eventually. Thought it was going to be the initial defender that stepped up, and that was Jamie McGuire, but she was able to get an extra 4 yards.
Good awareness on the field there from Franklin as she tiptoed down the sidelines and got every yard that she could possibly, every inch that she could possibly get on that play.
Michaela Williams, after having her contact with her head on the final play of regulation, not on the field, and that's certainly a weapon lost. Samarian Franklin right there in the middle. Anna Russo there to pull the flag. It'll bring up 3rd down. We'll call it 4.
Both teams keeping their composure. They know what's at stake here.
3rd down and 4 from the 4. Here in overtime of this 1A through 5A Flag Football State Championship. Samarian Franklin. Direct snap. Are they going to rule her short? There was a flag pulled, and they will say 1 yard shy of the goal line. 4th down coming up.
Here's the replay. See where that flag gets pulled.
Deasia Clark thought she was in, but the referee right on top of it.
it comes down to this.
Franklin. Daylight. She's in. Winona. Your class 1A through 5A state champions and getting it done in overtime.
Love the celebration. Love the fans. Love the hugs.
A fourth down play. They needed it in regulation and couldn't get it done. But they find a way in overtime. You should take a look one more time. Sumerian Franklin.
Love that last-minute decision to run.
Well,
Gosh.
there is triumph on one side of the field, unfortunately. That brings sadness and dejection to that Montgomery Catholic Knight squad, but can't say enough about not only what we saw on display today, but the season that the Knights and head coach Whitney Toole have
Absolutely.
had.
And how about just the fight and the grit that both of these teams displayed today? I mean, all the way from the first play through overtime. I mean, these girls wanted it. They fought for it. I mean, this is what it's all about.
It really is.